All right, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, getting back into our NFL, everything you missed for this week. This week it's going to be week 5. If you missed any games, if you missed any coverage, if you missed any bit of important news, I got you covered. I'm going to do a rundown of every single game. Starting off with Thursday night, we had the Buccaneers versus the Falcons. The Falcons escaped this game with a 36-30 victory. The Buccaneers, honestly, choking. They choked this game out. The Buccaneers had the possession of the ball, fumbled it with Bucky Irving. Then they ended up getting the ball back just to kill the Falcons 3 timeouts. Didn't matter. Falcons end up coming away with the win, with Kirk Cousins having over 500 passing yards. Amazing performance from Kirk Cousins. Very, very crucial to see because he has been rusty. He has been sloppy. The Achilles injury has everyone questioning whether we're going to get Kirk Cousins of old or the Kirk Cousins that isn't going to be that good anymore. Well, with this performance, that makes people, more specifically Falcons fans, feel a lot more better. If you're the Buccaneers, you're frustrated, but you know that you could have won this game. Going into the Jets and the Vikings, this was a London game, so this was at 6:30 a.m. I gotta say, the Vikings are the real deal. Aaron Rodgers having 3 interceptions was just bad all around. They were really forcing the ball to Garrett Wilson. 13 catches, 101 yards. And I got to say, Breece Hall has not been going the past 3 weeks now. That's been something to watch. Sam Darnold didn't have any touchdown passes, 14 for 31. Really struggled against this Jets defense. But at the very least, Justin Jefferson got his 6 catches, 92 yards. Vikings, in a close one, win this one. And the bigger piece of news after this game, well, it actually happened just this morning. I'm recording this on Tuesday. It's going to come out on Tuesday. Robert Saleh has been fired as the head coach of the Jets organization. And I got to say, the biggest surprise about all of this is that he got fired before Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett is the offensive coordinator, and to see him stay is a little bit mind-boggling. I get that Aaron Rodgers likes him, but this Jets offense has been terrible since he's been here. Granted, Nathaniel Hackett had to deal with Zach Wilson, but even this season, their offense has been bad. Their defense has been elite. Robert Saleh is a defensive guy. You know, he kind of held up that end of the bargain, but maybe there was some inside noise, things going on that weren't working so well. Maybe they're questioning his decision-making. Moving on to the Bears and the Panthers, Caleb Williams having an absolute stellar game. I could go on and on about his progress, but I've been talking about the Bears a lot more recently, so I'll leave it at that the Bears really just put the whoop ass on the Panthers. Caleb Williams looking phenomenal. DJ Moore having a solid game. DeAndre Swift having some really good plays here and there. You got to be happy as a Bears fan considering that your quarterback is making a lot of progress and your defense looks really good. Moving on to the Browns, the Commanders. Deshaun Watson is an absolute train wreck. The guy that once was a Pro Bowler and an all-caliber kind of quarterback is now cooked, washed, a has-been. Whatever words you want to use is probably the right thing. Deshaun Watson is not good. Probably one of the worst starting quarterbacks in this league. The Commanders absolutely destroying the Browns because the Browns just have no offense. They can't do anything. Deshaun Watson can't throw the ball. He can't make the right reads. He doesn't want to scramble, so I don't know what the Browns are doing. At some point, you got to say, we got to bench this guy. He's just been that bad. Jaden Daniels, though, was insane. Moving on to the Dolphins and Patriots. I'm not going to waste time with anything on this. Both teams look horrendously bad. The Dolphins, though, at the very least, once Tua comes back, things will be on the up and up. But until then, wow. Dolphins win 15-10. Colts and Jaguars. This one was a wild game just because it looked like the Jaguars defense was finally coming together. It looks like their offense was playing really well. Trevor Lawrence was doing really well. And then their defense just lets up. Colts go crazy with Joe Flacco having 3 touchdown passes, over 300 passing yards. Alec Pierce with 2 huge plays. And Tank Bixby looking like he's really excelling as a running back right now. The Jaguars barely pull away 37-34. But that is not because of Trevor Lawrence this time. That has nothing to do with him or the offense. The defense was just horrendous. Especially in the second half. That's when things really fell apart. But at the very least, Jaguars get their first win. Texans and Bills. I've said this last week and I'll say it again this week. When you play against good teams, you need that guy on offense. I'm not talking about a quarterback. You need that receiver that tight end, more specifically just a receiver. You need your number one receiver to put your team above the other team because he's going to be the one that's making plays. Example number one is Ja'Marr Chase. Example number two is Justin Jefferson, right? Even when you're playing against a tough team, that receiver one is going to elevate you a whole nother tier. And again, we saw it with Ja'Marr Chase most recently against the Ravens. We'll get to that. But the Bills lack really a receiver 1, 2, and 3. Every receiver they have doesn't even seem like they should be starting receivers. And that's just the truth. You have an elite quarterback in Josh Allen, and he passed for what, 9 for 30 or 9 for 31? Let me confirm this real quick. Josh Allen was 9 for 30, 131 yards and only 1 touchdown. Just a horrendous outing from him. If you're the Bills, I don't understand how you thought this was a good idea. This everybody eats mantra is okay when you're playing bad teams, but when you're playing good teams, it's going to bite you in the ass. And it's so evident that they need a receiver one. It's just a need if they want to contend. On the flip side, CJ Stroud lost Nico Collins to a hamstring injury. He's going to be week to week. Although let me mention this, that fourth quarter last drive from the Bills. Oh my God. 30 seconds to go. Texans have all timeouts. Bills at their own 10. They do 3 straight passing plays. Give the ball back to the Texans so the Texans can get the ball in good field position and they end up finishing the game. I don't understand what the Bills are doing. Run the ball 3 times. Run the ball 3 times. You want to know why? Because if the Texans use all 3 of their timeouts, they can't do that 5-yard pass inside of the numbers so that they can call a timeout and get a closer field goal, which is what happened. Bills threw away this game. Just disgusting play calling. Ravens and Bengals, this one was a thriller through and through. Probably one of the best games of the year. The Ravens defense and the Bengals defense looked atrocious. Nobody could get stops. But you have to give credit to the Bengals offense and the Ravens offense because they both just looked fantastic. I would say the Bengals offense was a bit more impressive just because the Ravens defense is a lot better than the Bengals defense. If you look at the plays that the Bengals are making with Ja'Marr Chase, 10 catches, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. By the way, I played him in fantasy football, and he's the reason why I lost this week. Anyway, Ja'Marr Chase looked fantastic. T. Higgins looked fantastic. Joe Burrow played like a freaking superstar, which we already know he is, but god damn, he looked insanely good. Chase Brown having a good outing. I just can't help but feel bad for Joe Burrow when your offense is this good, but your defense is that atrocious. Like, on the flip side, you have the Ravens, right? Their offense is good and their defense is good. So if the Bengals are going to do that, you're just like, damn, this Bengals offense is something else. But it's been proven time and time again that this Bengals defense is just hot garbage no matter who they play. It really just doesn't matter. So the Ravens had their way, running the ball all over, passing the ball all over. It was just an insane game, but god damn, I don't know what the hell the Bengals are going to do with that defense. Broncos and Raiders, not much to say here. The Raiders look terrible. Their offense, they don't have a quarterback. It's really just that simple. Their offense really struggles in the run game and the passing game. They have a pretty decent defense, but you can only ask so much of them, and you lose 18-34 against the Broncos. The Broncos moved to 3-2, and if you didn't watch the games, you say, oh, that's a good record. The Broncos must be good. Wrong. At the very least, if you're the Raiders, though, you're going to get something back for Devontae Adams, so that's going to be interesting to watch. Moving on to the Cardinals and the 49ers. The Cardinals with a huge upset win. 49ers with a huge collapse again. Makes you wonder what the hell's going on with the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk finally had a really good game, so you feel better about that. But the red zone struggles are real, man. The red zone struggles are seriously real. Kyler Murray, though, escaping this one with some crucial plays. And wow, I don't even know what to say. 23-24. The Niners really would love to see Christian McCaffrey back. It's not that Jordan Mason's playing bad, but Christian McCaffrey is undoubtedly just an X factor when healthy. Giants and Seahawks, this was just crazy to see that the Giants won this game 29-20. I mean, what more is there to say? The Seahawks, I don't know what to say, dude. Like, you can't be losing to teams like the Giants when they're down Devin Singletary and Malik Neighbors. It's really just that simple. If the Giants win this game with those two there, more specifically Malik Neighbors, I say, you know what? Credit to the Giants, but this is more of a sad outing from the Seahawks, because what the hell do the Giants have to do offensively? Who do they have to throw to? Wan'Dale Robinson? You know what I mean? Tyrone Tracy? Yeah, he had a good game, but bro, Darius Slayton can't get 8 catches, 122 yards on you. It just can't happen. This is an atrocious loss for the Seahawks. An atrocious loss. Again, if Malik Neighbors was there, Devin Singletary was there, this is a different story. I'm going to say, okay, they had their offense. It's excusable for them to put up 29. And if you really think about it, the Seahawks offense only put up 13 just because of that fumble 6. Packers and Rams is actually a pretty close one, all things considered. But, I mean, to keep it simplified, the Rams just lack offensive weapons. It's really just Kyren Williams and Matthew Stafford trying to make do with whomever and whatever. The Packers escaped this one with a close win after a really tough first half. Credit to the Rams defense. They did look much better than in weeks past. But offensively, they're clearly just in need of help. And Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp cannot come back any sooner. Cowboys and Steelers. Cowboys escaping this one 20-17. And I got to say, I am just not seeing it from Justin Fields. This guy plays a Cowboys defense which has been hot garbage. And they're down Micah Parsons and they're down DeMarcus Lawrence. And all you do is throw for 131 passing yards. Just a terrible outing. It's inexcusable to me how anyone can say, oh, this guy, yeah, like, you know, he can be a starting quarterback. Like, no, dude, at this point, put in Russell Wilson. I know that they're not going to do that this week. News came out from Mike Tomlin that Justin Fields will be practicing with the first team this week just to make sure his preparation is right. But 6 carries, 27 yards, 131 passing yards against this Cowboys defense, which has been atrocious. It's inexcusable if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan to think that this guy is a starting quarterback. He's not. 131 passing yards against this defense. This defense. Terrible, terrible, terrible outing from Justin Fields. At the very least, though, Dak Prescott gets that game-winning drive. Beautiful fumble recovery on his end when Rico Dowdle fumbled the ball. And a beautiful pass to Jalen Tolbert for the passing touchdown for the win. Moving on to the Saints and the Chiefs. It's just weird. The Chiefs are 5-0, but they look so beatable. Patrick Mahomes, no touchdowns, but 331 passing yards. Kareem Hunt having a strong game. Juju Smith-Schuster, 7 catches, 130 yards. What the hell is going on? The biggest concern for the Saints, though, is Derek Carr is down, and he suffered an oblique injury, and his words, it doesn't look good. So I'm curious to see how that's going to unfold, but this Chiefs team is just weird, man. They look super, super beatable. And they're 5-0. I don't even know how to explain it. And yeah, the Saints now dropped to 2-3, lost 3 in a row. It is rough sledding out here for the Saints. Derek Carr presumably out. It's not going to be better at all. Credit to the Chiefs defense, though. They have been stellar. They have been good, to say the least, because yeah, this offense doesn't look that great. To be fair, though, they were getting down and putting themselves in good field position. They just couldn't do shit in the red zone. They just couldn't finish it off with touchdowns. Too many field goals. Way too many field goals. We will see how things unfold, though, in the next week. This week, a lot of chaos, a lot of anarchy. Biggest game in terms of upset probably being the Cardinals and 49ers. That was pretty wild. Anyway, I greatly appreciate you guys for watching. This is We've Been Different. We've Been Different. And we out.